talk to me, the boys, over their shoulders?
No, I'll just talk to you.
Whatever's easiest for you.
My eyes will wander as
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. I'm
that
going to sit right here. Am I okay here? Hold on, let me shot.
No, that's perfect because you can talk to her, to us.
Let me angle it a little more. Bye, you scraggly rat.
Stop your fucking mouth. Sorry.
It's okay.
Wow,
That's
so much love. We need all of this. Right.
See you
Cheers,
Sunday,
brother.
yeah?
Yeah, just let me 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3.
We might be a little bit later than that.
Alright, so, well, I won't be, yeah, I'll be back on this.
I guess that's what we need to
No worries.
Shall I get some red wine or some?
No, get some beers. We're not gay, we don't drink red wine.
Well, we're recording, so this is amazing.
This is amazing. Your mic's open. Bye. Take care. Thank you.
Adios.
Yeah, ready.
So when I say things like what's your name, just give me like your full name, how old are you, full age, where are you from, stuff like that. Just
Cool.
So you've got your character. Cool.
Sure.
Ready? What's your name?
My name's Tylen Williams. I'm from South Africa originally. I've been in Dubai now coming up 6 years, so five and a half years. Yeah.
What made you make the move to Dubai?
I actually came on holiday with Ross in 2014 and I had the best time of my life. And yeah, on the plane home from that trip, I was like, one day I'm going to live in Dubai. And then in 2017, my mom was living here. I was traveling through with a girlfriend of mine because we were trying to move to the UK at that time. And while we were in Dubai, her visa was denied to the UK. So we were like, well, we're not going to go home. We might as well stay here. And ever since, we've been hustling our way through.
The rest is history.
That's it.
If we go way back to Ty as a young boy,
Yes.
give me 5 words that describe him.
Cheeky. Overly ambitious. Is that one word? Or we'll take that as one.
That's right.
Intelligent. Handsome.
Obviously.
It speaks for itself. And determined.
Why overly ambitious?
I don't know, I just had big plans. I was going to be an engineer and change the world and do a bunch of stuff. And then I realized that engineering isn't the best. So changed my goals halfway through.
Yeah. So you left South Africa at, how old were you?
I was 31.
Okay, so up until being 31, what were you doing in South Africa?
Originally, I was a civil engineer. So I was working in the mines and kind of working out in the sticks. I decided that wasn't what I'd envisioned engineering to be. So I moved back home, still did engineering, but as a consultant then. Got bored of that, moved into the banks. So I was consulting for the banks for certain projects. You could have called me like a change manager or project manager, I suppose. But I also realized that office life wasn't for me. I didn't like office life at all, it sucked. So then I started to move from there into more of the like physical space. So like working at gyms and doing that kind of stuff, which is eventually what landed me here. So
As Ty is like going into the physical space, you went into being a PT, right?
yeah, so I wasn't actually qualified as a PT then, but I was helping to manage the gym that I was at, and I was working with a couple of clients because I've been physical my whole life, right? Been training since I was, 12 with all the sports that we were doing.
Tell me about some of those sports, because we've got some great stories of you as a rower.
Oh yeah, I was an amazing rower, way better than Ross. He just sat there and shouted at people all the time. I did some work, you know what I mean? So yeah, obviously I did rowing at school, rugby I carried on quite long into my career. Played some decent level rugby. A lot of jiu-jitsu, touch rugby I went to 2 World Cups for. Yeah, Ross was shit at rugby. Sorry, Ross.
What position did you play?
I was a fly half / centre playing rugby. And I was only 5'7", but quality is what they look for in those kind of silky smooth positions. But it was, it was a great time in my life. Just tired of waking up feeling like I'd been hit by a bus every day when I was getting older. So converted to touch rugby and I didn't look back.
Going into the World Cup, what do you remember most about those?
Tragedy struck in the second World Cup. I got sick 3 days before and all my joints swelled up, so I didn't play a single game. So that's a very traumatic time in my life.
How did that feel?
Shit. Yeah, I dedicated basically 18 months of my life to that. So I put aside my socializing and, you know, I was in the best shape I'd ever been ready for that. And then, yeah, 3 days before in Australia, we were driving from Manly down to Coffs Harbour where the thing would be, and I was the one driving the vehicle. And halfway through, I realized my knee was the size of a soccer ball and I couldn't walk on it anymore. Tried to hide it from the coaches, but there was no going. So I ended up being a supporter for 5 days of the best touch rugby I could have ever played. It's heartbreaking, heartbreaking.
Really sad. What about you as a rower?
I was better than Ross. I wouldn't say I was good, but I was better than Ross, and that's all that matters in my life.
Do you remember the first time you met Ross?
I do remember the first time I met Ross. I was taller than him.
Better looking, obviously.
I mean, nothing's changed there. He's taller than me now, but I met him. He was this really short, it wasn't fat. He had skinny little legs and a skinny upper body, but this really fat belly that stuck out in front of him. And he was super cheeky, and I don't know if he spat on me first or I spat on him first, but one of us spat on each other, and then we had this like best friend rivalry for what is now, I don't know how many years, 20, 30 odd years on. So
would it be fair to say that rivalry is still going?
yeah, I'm better than him in every single way. That better make it on there, by the way.
He did admit that, and we'll give him that.
Yeah, good, as he should.
So you knew of his plans for him to go in the military?
No, I didn't. So I don't know if he gave you the background to our friendship.
You give me it.
So yeah, we were friends for about 2 years at Parktown, which is the school we were at in Johannesburg. And about halfway through the second year, he told us that his parents were moving to the UK and he was disappearing. So he kind of left. And this was before Facebook, Instagram, Mixit, whatever other rubbish kids were using. We used to email each other's parents' emails accounts. So we used to I'd send him oh, my week was so cool, I landed my first kickflip, or whatever. And then 2 weeks later, I would get an email, my mom would get an email back, and that's how we kind of, we kept the friendship going. Every time he was coming to South Africa, he would, come stay at my house. So I'd pick him up from the airport, do what, we were just hanging out. And then one year he came back and he had a skinhead and he was like, oh yeah, I'm a Marine now. And I was like, they obviously lowered the standard to let you in if you are going to be in the military. But turns out he was actually half decent at doing that, so good on him.
So you went to the military. Did you speak to him during that time?
When he was allowed, when he wasn't over, yeah, we would, I think WhatsApp had been invented by then, or BBM or whatever it was. And yeah, we'd constantly exchange stories and tell him how useless I was that week. Or
you've obviously both got an insane love of adrenaline.
Yeah.
So were you still doing all the wild adrenaline stuff at the same time?
At that time in South Africa, the adrenaline stuff wasn't necessarily that accessible to me.
Okay.
Skydiving was really far out. Motorbikes and that I wasn't really exposed to. I was doing a lot of dirt, well, not a lot, but some dirt bike stuff. But most of my time was actually spent with sports. I was fully involved in touch rugby. That was 5 or 6 days a week in preparation for all the stuff. And a lot of combat sports. I was really heavily into my jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. It was only later on, just before I came to Dubai, and when I was in Dubai with kind of the locality of all of the different things that you can do, that I really sunk my teeth into being able to do all of that stuff.
What drives you to want to do all of this adrenaline sport? What do you think it is if you had to go deep and be like, okay, why? What is it?
For me, it's a very easy question to answer. If you think about your life, right? Your life exists to you only in memories. You're the present person, you're the person you are sitting right now talking to me, but the only other thing that you have is the memories. So I remember being with Ross, let's say, in South Africa. I remember, whatever, certain events. if you don't have a life that's worth remembering, when you die, your life is literally that moment that you die, because there's nothing else to remember. So I do the stuff that I do so that I can have a long life. You know, I can have a lot of memories to look back on the day when I'm finally die. I'll be like, oh, sick, okay, cool, long life lived.
Of all the wild adrenaline things that you've done so far, what's the one that really stands out?
For me, I know Ross will be like skydiving and that. For me, riding my motorbike was my favorite, which ironically has ended me up on 2 wheels. But riding my motorbike was for me the best part of my day.
Do you know why?
I don't know if I can place it, because people will say, oh, it's freedom and it's this and that, but you've got the same freedom in a car. You know, you feel the same freedom when you're skydiving. I just think it was just fun. Like, you don't have a lot to think about when you're doing it. You can kind of just focus on what you're doing, but also get lost in that kind of focus. Just be like tunnel visioned on what you're doing, and yeah, have a great time doing it.
So you moved to Dubai to chase a dream, so to speak.
Yeah.
When you got here, you've obviously had a chat with Ross, and you've come up with this idea of Dead Man's Clique.
Yeah.
Tell us about the story of Dead Man's Clique, the how, the why, the what you remember.
Okay, so we were sitting at Barasti Beach, and I think we were probably 4 beers down. There were rumors of some Wuhan tragedy that was spreading across the world, and we were like, oh, whatever, it will never get to Dubai, it's okay. And after like the 4th or so idea, I think Ross turned to me and said, you know, if some chick can get 1 million views for baking a cake on YouTube, with the stuff that we do every day, we could probably get like 10 or 12 likes, you know? So, yeah, we could probably get like 5 likes. So we were like, okay, well, why don't we try to document what we do every day and show people that living a life where you actually do the things you want to do is completely attainable for normal people. You know, he's definitely nothing special. And I'm just slightly above average, not in height. I'm a little bit shorter now, 3'2". But just to show people that you can do it, you know, like you can find time in your day to do something that scares you, excites you, or makes you proud at least once a week. So we started the idea of Dead Man's Clique. Ross came up with the idea. I think it's great. I came up with the logo, which is the better part. But yeah. And pretty much from that moment, we've lived DMC. You know, we've proven that you can do it. We wouldn't say that we've made a career out of it, because we don't see it as a job, but we definitely have it as a lifestyle, which is, I'm pretty proud to say that, you know, we went ahead and did that, which is cool.
When you say live the Dead Man's Clique lifestyle, what does it mean to live DMC?
It means being the baddest renegade that you can be in the world. Basically, the definition, the Dead Man's Clique kind of thing is staring the Reaper in the face, the Grim Reaper in the face. That's, you know, with the adrenaline sports, that's where the idea came from. But I think living the Dead Man's Clique lifestyle is being free enough to do what you want to do. Like, it doesn't have to be super cool, but just do what you want to do, and like do it with intent, you know. Don't do it because everyone thinks it's cool. Do it because you want to do it. And if you're going to do it, do it well.
And it's become quite a community, right?
Yeah, we've collected a bunch of rebels and renegades along the way.
Do you know how many is in the community?
Too many to count.
Mainly men, or but a mix?
I would, with the bike riding and the skydiving and stuff, that's mainly men. But the community itself goes deeper and wider than that. So I'd say it's a pretty even mix, 50-50.
Of Dead Man's Clique is about mental health?
I know
directly or indirectly?
I know mental health is really deep to Ross with his marine background. He knows a lot of friends that struggle with mental health, and with me going through what I'm going through now, it makes it a lot more like in your face for the two of us. I wouldn't say that directly we do, like, we're not driving the awareness of mental health all the time, but we give people a space where they can come and chat to like-minded people, or have a beer when you're feeling shit, and hopefully people trust us enough to offload that weight so we can all share it together.
Does that happen?
I know I did. I often make jokes about my situation, which is my way of sharing what I've gone through or was going through beforehand, you know. But there's tons of support. There's always someone that's willing to go for a beer, willing to listen to your shit stories, willing to offer you even worse advice, and then laugh at you when you've done it.
Because moving to Dubai is not easy, right? For all that, like, you know, all these influencers make out that it's super easy, it really isn't, right?
Yeah, I think it is easy and it isn't easy. Obviously, financially, it's quite a hard place sometimes to live in. But if you find like-minded individuals that like are there to support you and stuff, I think emotionally it can be, I love it. Emotionally, it's quite a lovely place to live in. But yeah, I think it is a hard place sometimes.
What would you say to somebody who's on Dead Man's Clique Instagram page, they're looking at their pictures, they've just moved here, they don't know anybody, they want to be a part of it, but they're like, shit, these guys are so cool, they're covered in tattoos.
That happens all the time.
I can well imagine. It's a cool bunch of people, they're all good looking guys. Like, what would you say to that person who's behind the scroll, wants to join but then?
I don't know, I kind of feel like if you don't want to dive in and join straight away, that maybe it won't be for you, I don't know. But you know, my advice would be try it. If you don't like it, that's fine. It's okay if you don't like it, that's all right.
The likelihood is no one will ever not like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's not to like? No, I think that Dead Man's Clique isn't for everyone. I don't know if Ross will agree with me for that statement, but we can be polarizing. We've got a lot of large personalities and large opinions about certain things, especially Crocs. Nobody likes Crocs in Dead Man's Clique.
Crocs and socks are very cool, I'll have you know.
Well, then we are not cool. But yeah, I don't know. My kind of opinion is, if you're worried that you're not going to fit in, you probably won't. With that mindset, like everyone can fit in everywhere if you try, like if you want to. But just give it, you know, come meet us, have a conversation, and if it's not for you, that's fine. That's what I would say.
What came first, DMC or Stronghold?
DMC came first.
So tell us how Stronghold came about.
Stronghold, so with DMC, we started, myself, Ross, and another friend of ours, Sam, we used to go and work out on back then it was a Friday morning when the weekends were Friday, Saturday. We would go down to Skydive Dubai on a Friday and we would just do a workout. And we found that eventually people started to join in on that. And eventually there was like a group of 10 people, 12 people. And Ross and I kind of looked at each other and said, well, if we're going to do this, why don't we start a boot camp and get people to come with? And, you know, because a big pillar of DMC is fitness. It fits in nicely with our idea. So we started holding a Saturday boot camp, and that grew to about 20 people, and then we made it formal, where we started charging for the boot camps. And from then, kind of the idea kind of snowballed into, well, we need a place to host these boot camps, and we were doing it at TK MMA for a while. And this opportunity fell on our laps, and we said that's perfect, because our end goal was always to have our own venue, and our end goal was always to have a gym in that venue. When this opportunity arose for us to have a space, we knew we had to take it, and that's how Stronghold was born.
Are you still comfortable?
Yeah?
You need a minute, you alright?
No, I'm good. If you don't mind me leaning, that's fine.
You obviously started Stronghold, and then, if we can, you've obviously had this accident.
Yeah.
How far into the Stronghold journey before you had the accident?
We had all the discussions about Stronghold. Everything was set. We knew we were coming. And I think we had done a couple of boot camps in here already. We hadn't taken over the space yet. And I had my accident in January, end of Jan. And the Stronghold, I think we opened end of Feb. So about a month before the doors opened, I had my motorbike accident, yeah.
How did that feel?
It was, I mean, there was a lot going on at the time, so I wasn't necessarily thinking about, oh, damn, like the gym. But as the process went on, I realized how much stress Ross was taking, because now he was doing the role of two people. And we work better together anyway, like the Ross and Ty shows. It should be the Ty and Ross show, sorry, correct that. Ty and Ross show is a sight to behold, but I felt bad for him having to shoulder the weight for me.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, the plan was that you were predominantly going to be the PT.
Yeah, so I was going to be the predominant gym manager, while Ross got more used to it, and then it would be the 50-50 thing. And he's just been plunged into it. I mean, we've both had a massive trauma. Like, I think this has affected Ross significantly. But I'm proud of him for keeping it together and putting together such a great place, you know.
Can we talk about your accident?
Yeah, sure.
So tell me about the day of the accident.
It was one of the best days ever, okay? At that point in time, Ross and I were training for the government games. We were in a team for the government games. We were also doing a DMC running challenge, 40 days of running. We were doing dry January, which we'll getting back to that, probably why I had my accident. And so we did our 8K run. We then went and did our government games training. We went down to skydive. We did 3 of the best skydives ever. It was unreal. I actually did my 99th jump, was my last jump. And then we were having this discussion, like, do we do one more and get the 100th? Or do we come back next week with all of the friends and we do one mad 100 jump? And we were like, yeah, sod it. We won't do the jump today. We'll get everybody to get there next week and we'll do this jump. Finished the jumps, packed everything away, got in the car, driving back up. And I turned to Ross and I said, you know what, I could go for a beer today. Like, I could probably go for a beer. And he said, I could also go for a beer, but we said we're not drinking, so we didn't go to the pub. I went to my bike, I got on the bike, I was driving home in one of the best moods. I had music playing on in the headphones, in my helmet. I always wear a helmet, kids, be safe. Getting onto the 311, it's a really complicated situation, so I won't explain the whole thing. But kind of there was cones on my left-hand side separating this part of the highway to another part of the highway. And I didn't realize, because I was focused on the lane that I was in, I didn't realize there was a delivery bike that had stopped stationary in the lane next to me and was trying to get across the road to, I don't know, cut part of his journey off. And he must have thought he could get between the car that was in front of me and me. And as I was approaching him, he cut out of these cones and there was nothing I could do. I hit him in the back and flew over the handlebars. I remember landing on my head and my shoulder and then sliding, and I made a second impact with this like concrete barrier. And then I was on the floor and I thought, shit, there's cars coming, I need to move. So I tried to pick myself up off the ground and there was just nothing. My, like, from here down was just simply dead. So I was like leopard crawling, kind of pulling myself across the street. And I remember some guy just coming up to me and saying, okay, cool, everything's going to be okay, just relax. And from there, my memory is pretty much gone until I remember the paramedics cutting my hoodie off and then being in the ambulance, hearing them say a whole bunch of like crazy stuff, thinking, okay, this is probably going to be it. And then back in the emergency room where we were like all joking around and having fun inside the emergency room.
There's a blank between you and the ambulance.
Yeah, there's 2 blanks. There's a blank between when that guy came to me and told me to just relax into the ambulance, and then the ambulance says a little bit, and then I don't remember getting to the hospital, and I don't remember them putting me on the bed. But once I was on that like bed, then I remember some of my friends rocking up. I know Lydia was there, my girlfriend. Her brother rocked up, I don't know why. Her best friend and her boyfriend rocked up. It was basically a party in there. There was like 50 of us. And we were all just telling jokes, I suppose.
You talked about being on the floor and kind of leopard crawling across the road to obviously move yourself out of danger.
Yeah.
Can you remember what you were telling yourself in that moment?
I don't think I was thinking about anything. I think I was purely just trying to avoid the next danger. Like, I didn't think my injuries were that bad. I didn't even think about not being able to feel my bottom half of the body. I was just like, I don't know, I suppose something like my leg was broken or whatever. And I just had a goal. My goal was to get out of the road. So I was just trying to, I wasn't even in the road. Like, I'd slid and hit the concrete barrier that was off the road, but I didn't see it that way. So I was just trying to focus on getting myself out of danger.
Do you know, or have you spoken to the guy that found you?
No.
Don't know who he is. No idea.
No, I found out afterwards that my iPhone had actually, my Apple Watch, had rung the police and the emergency services. So it wasn't anybody else that had contacted the ambulance or the police to notify them. It was my watch. There's, you know, they've got crash detection. So because I had that impact, I could hear, I've got a vague memory of my phone was like beeping, and then it stopped beeping, and that's when I went out. And when I was in the hospital, like a week later, one of my local friends, he's a policeman, came to me and said, yeah, it was the Apple Watch that had alerted the emergency services. So buy an Apple Watch, for sure.
Wow, so it saved your life, no doubt.
Yeah, it definitely had a hand in I mean, I also like the people that came to save me, saved my life as well. But the watch played a huge role, yeah.
Wow.
And that was the reason I bought the watch. I was using a Garmin before, and then because I read up on that Apple crash detection, and because I was riding bikes and skydiving and doing all these things, I knew that I needed something else. So that's what I did.
How much of wearing a helmet do you think has had an impact on making sure, obviously, you're still completely cognitive? I think you're still all there, so to speak.
It saved my charming good looks.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I remember coming down on my head. Like, I think that was, if I remember back, that was the first thing that hit the ground. And yeah, it was big. If you're ever going to like save money, you don't look to save money on a helmet. Make sure you buy well, buy good. And I am so lucky that I still have the use of my arms and I still have the use of my brain. So
you go to hospital. I'm assuming you would have been high as a kite on various.
Yeah, they were giving me loads of drugs.
So you don't remember an awful lot for quite some time? Or?
Yeah, I've got accident happened on Sunday. I remember that emergency room piece. So the rest of Sunday when they did all the scans and that, Monday, Tuesday, no recollection. Wednesday is the first time I remember coming around in ICU and being fully conscious.
And when you came around on the Wednesday, did you know how severe it was at that time, or did you still just think, oh, I've broken my legs and I'm in a lot?
No, the surgeon, when we were in the emergency room, I must have done a scan before, I don't remember it, but he came to me and basically said 0.01% chance that I'll walk again. He said my spine is pretty mangled.
And how did you feel at that?
At that point, I was like, yeah, no problems. I've come back from something like this before. I didn't realize the scale of the mountain I was about to climb. And I still have hope. I will always keep hope for something, like some miracle. I'm a little bit more realistic now in the goals. We do have goals that we're working towards. But yeah, at that point, when I woke up, I was completely defiant. I was like, yeah, this is nothing, and I'll be fine.
And how much of that do you think was adrenaline?
I don't think it was adrenaline. I think it was ego more. Like, I don't think there was any adrenaline in it. It was just basically like, this can't be it. That's what I was saying. This cannot be the rest of my life. I won't allow it to be, which is still my attitude. Like, I might be stuck in this chair forever, but like the accident won't be the end of my life, you know.
Do you remember Ross coming into the room?
Into the emergency room?
Coming into, at any point in the emergency room in your room?
Yeah, I remember Ross showing up with these big red welly eyes, sniffling. Poor boy. No, shame. Yeah, it was hard, because although it happened to me, it was as if it wasn't happening to me. Like, we were, as I said, we were joking and laughing in that room, you know. Ross was a little bit later than some of the other people, so when he came in, it was a shock to me to see him that way, because he's always strong, you know. When you see him, he's always this big personality, this, like titanium kind of guy. And when I saw him, I was kind of like, shit, I've got to be bad. I've got to be bad if that's the case, yeah.
That made you think that?
Yeah, I was like, it's okay, man, don't worry, it's not going to be it. But then inside, it's kind of like, shit, if he's crying, then maybe I should be crying.
It's so interesting because in his story, before he came into the room, he tried to do everything to not let you know that he was like, oh my God.
His eyes were like this big. He had big red bags under his eyes. There was still tears and snot coming out of his nose. How could I not know?
Poor guy was like preparing outside.
Well, he needs hair and makeup then, because if that was his best attempt, that was shocking. Shocking.
Poor guy.
Oh, my ears burning.
No,
Well, you,
My ears are burning.
no, you
I'm
can't.
losing shit.
You'll watch it on the video. You'll watch it on the. You'll watch it on the video. How long were you in the hospital for before you were allowed to go home?
the full time, I was in my first hospital for 5 weeks. 1 week in ICU fully, and then 4 weeks in the recovery ward. From there, I went to a rehabilitation facility in Abu Dhabi. I was there for, I want to say 10 weeks. 10 weeks. And then I spent another 3 weeks in a hospital here, again, back. So I think it was just short of 4 months, maybe a bit more.
Those 10 weeks,
Sorry.
can you take me through them? What do you remember? What was the thought process, the mindset, everything while you were in there?
The first couple of weeks, so the first week in ICU was horrible. I had tubes and pipes and things stuck to me the whole time, and I had to lie flat on my back for the first week. So really uncomfortable, but again, I was heavily dosed, so like all of the days kind of melded into one big long day-night kind of mixture. Again, the depth of my situation hadn't hit me yet. Then they moved me into the ward, and I had gotten so many bed sores from lying on my back for a week that I had to be rolled every 90 minutes, including nighttime. So you're trying to get to sleep, you fall asleep, they wake you up 90 minutes later, they roll you, now you're wide awake, and then you got to try and battle yourself back to sleep, and every 90 minutes. So that was a hard time physically, not emotionally, not yet. No sleep. They were weaning me off a lot of the medication, so like pain. Then you start to feel uncomfortable in your sleep because, like, you know, before the accident, you're sleeping, you're uncomfortable, you turn around, you roll over, you find a position. This way now in hospital, the way they left you was the way they'd find you again. So, you know, the way you lie, and okay, at that point, I didn't really feel my legs all that much, but try lying, sleeping on your shoulder, like you're on your side and you're on your shoulder for the whole night. Like that becomes painful, you know, and not being able to move. But I had my friends, I mean, I think my girlfriend, Ross, and Sam, and my mom, I think they were there every day. Like at some point in time in the day for the full 5 weeks, they came past every day. So emotionally, again, there was like no problems, it was fine. And then when I went to Abu Dhabi and I was alone from everyone, they started to get me to move around more, so I was getting out of bed, going to do physio and that. That's when I fully realized how hard my life was going to be from then on. Like sitting myself up in bed, I don't have any core muscles, right? Okay, so my injuries is, I've got a T6 complete spinal injury. So from here down, there's no function, not no functionality, but I don't have control. So that's why my gut sticks out, because I don't have core muscles. So my organs are all pushing out. This is like belly, this is stomach and whatever. So sitting up, you know, you've got to kind of like weasel your arms around you and then flop yourself forward. No balance. I don't have any core balance. Shuffling myself around in bed, moving my legs with my arms. That's when it really became apparent to me how hard life was. I remember phoning Lydia one Friday evening and I just completely broke down. I think I cried for like 90 minutes straight. Just not wishing that not wanting to kill myself, but wishing I had died on the road, because that wouldn't have been my worst possibility. It would have been worse for everyone else, but death wouldn't have been the worst thing for me at that point. I was so low. Slowly getting better through the rehab and being able to kind of cope with my new body. And then I went to the other hospital and I got sick so bad. I got like some kind of gastro bug. So like I was shitting myself every hour. I was vomiting, and again, able-bodied, you go over to the bathroom, you sort yourself out, you'd be fine. I was stuck in that position, shitting and vomiting 24/7, a lot of the time not being able to move. So like if there was nobody in my room and I couldn't notify somebody, that was my situation. I lay there like that, for 2 weeks, violently ill, no physio because I literally couldn't do anything. And slowly we, kind of got better through that. And then went home, and then life really got hard, like really, really, really got hard, mentally.
Talk to me about going home, because I would imagine it's not the home the home you have now is probably not the home you remember, given that you now need accessibility in the chair.
Call it a stroke of luck. The apartment that I lived in before the accident was, without knowing it, very wheelchair friendly. It's all on one level. The door frames are just big enough to get through with the chair. We have like a wet room, so showering and stuff isn't that much of a problem. The hard part of it was there was no other, I mean, I had loads of support. My mom was over from South Africa, and Lydia's been amazing through the whole thing. But like, the reality set in is that's going to be me forever, Well, I'm not saying forever, because I still hope against hope, but that is me, like dressing myself, dragging myself out of bed, having to do a atrociously disgusting morning routine, and everything taking 90 minutes longer than it should. My mental, I still have bad days, like now mentally. I'm trying to get better, but it was hard at home. The first weeks were hard.
Talk to me about your mindset today. What is it?
Today I'm having a great day. I think it's because obviously we've got the church session over there where I get to see everyone. But yeah, so I'd been down most of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was a little bit slow, a little bit kind of off pace, maybe a little bit shorter than I should have been with people around me. And then I had a really good physio session on Thursday, and that kind of changed it around. As well as like this morning, kind of everything clicked. So if I have a good morning and my body behaves, I don't want to say effortlessly, but I can get through my morning routine and still be in a good mood at the end of it. And when that happens, it's a great day. So Ross came and fetched me. I was all buzzed up to get here. We didn't have any issues getting into the car, no issues getting out of the car. So I'm bubbly, I'm sprightly today.
Feeling good.
Yeah, feeling strong.
We've spoken to quite a few people in
Oh no.
and people that were doing boot camps here and so on and so forth. And at any mention of you, there seems to be absolutely no doubt that if anybody can overcome this, whatever that may look like, if anybody can defy all the odds, if anybody can, be a miracle, if I'm allowed to say that, there seems to be unwavering that it is going to be you. How much of that is amazing to hear, carries you forward, but how much of that feels like a pressure?
I think, I'm very humbled that everybody would think that of me, and I mean, I expect it, but I appreciate it. But the problem is, you're right that there's a lot of pressure, because if I don't come through this, then they're going to be like, oh, well, you didn't try hard enough. But the actual reality of it is that a spinal cord injury is so complex. It's not about how hard you work. Like, I can work as hard as I like for the rest of my life. And if my spine doesn't heal in the right places, to the right length, to the right degree, I might never get anything back. That's the reality. So I love it when people say, oh, you know, like if anybody can get through this, it'll be you. But at the same time, it's heartbreaking, because I know I only have like 5% say in the outcome of what's going on here. The rest is purely about luck.
Talk to me about Lydia.
Lydia is the greatest person to walk the planet. She has been my savior. And my mom. My mom did a lot of, like, she flew over the day of the accident, and she stayed with us for like 4 months.
Who called your mom?
No, my Apple Watch sent her a message.
So your mom's in South Africa.
My mom's in South Africa. She gets a text message to say Thailand's just been involved in an accident, and then it sends a location. And I think she either tried to phone me or she phoned Lydia, and they had a conversation. I only spoke to her when I was in the emergency room, and I was like, yeah, Mom, don't worry, I'll be fine, like, it's okay, no worries. And she got on the plane and flew over straight away. So yeah, the two of them have been amazing. I can't believe how strong, like, I knew my mom was strong. My mom and I have been through like loads. My mom's the strongest woman you'll ever meet.
The apple certainly doesn't appear to fall far from the tree.
I couldn't be half as strong as my mom is, but Lydia was, I don't want to say a big surprise, because I know she's an amazing woman as it is. But when the accident happened, I kind of said to her, you know, you don't have to go down this road with me. You don't need to. I don't want to drag your life into the shit with me. So you're more than welcome to, and I will respect you either way, whether you go or don't go. And she was like, get fucked, I'm gonna be staying anyway. It's, you know, we're in this together. And she has never once faltered from that statement. She's been with me bad days when I'm short-tempered and like throwing a little tantrum. And in the good days when we, you know, go for a beer around the corner, she's there to help me when I fall out of my chair in the shower, and, you know, calm me down and help me get back into bed. She's been amazing. Like, she's really, really, really been unreal.
How long have you guys been together?
Testing me now. No, we've been together, this will be the 5th year. So I would say like 4.5 years. 4.5 years to be dating a cripple all of a sudden, that's like, she's a big man. I mean, she's a big woman.
I can't help but laugh when you say that, because you're just so like blasé about it.
Call a spade a spade.
But how much of that is just like I have to make a joke of it because it's the only way I can cope with it?
Yeah, so like I said, I make light of it because that's how I deal with things. But also, like, I mean, what am I? A person of determination. I was determined before the accident. Why am I only determined now? I don't think that is the best description. Disabled, okay, yeah, I'm disabled, but like, people will call, you know, they go, oh, look at the cripple. That's what I am. At the moment, I am a cripple. Am I not?
Have you made peace with that statement?
No. I don't think, I do a lot of journaling and stuff now. And whenever I write in my journal, I say, like, I shouldn't refer to myself as that, because the more I talk about it, the more I make that a reality for me. But that part of me can't override me trying to mentally cope with what I'm doing. So I don't know. I'm kind of stuck. I do whatever comes naturally in the moment.
What does stronghold mean to Ty now? What does that journey look like for Ty now?
The stronghold as an entity doesn't change for me. I will still be working here. I want to try and bring a different approach to it. I want to use this space to inspire people like me to come here or just get out and move, which I know is the journey for anybody who's going through what I'm going through. Everyone wants to inspire people of their same situation to do stuff. But Stronghold physically is the biggest challenge now because of the stairs and everything else. We're working really hard to change the environment so that I can access it. I mean, I got carried up here today and I hate it. I hate people making a fuss. I hate people carrying me around, helping me with the stairs, or I drop something, everyone rushes over. I wish I could do it all myself, but at some point I've got to suck it up. So
Ross was telling us about kind of the journey to get the chair.
the chairlift,
The
yeah. So I think we've got that sorted now. The chairlift will be great because that means other people can come through, and that will mean I can get into the gym every day, which I think mentally I'm missing. I've got a gym at home in my building, but it's rubbish, and the door is too heavy for me to be able to open myself, so I need someone to either let me in and let me out again, or for someone to go with me. And Liz is so busy with work and stuff, so.
We were talking to Ross about trying to, obviously, yes, we're using this as the story of DMC and Stronghold and yourself, but obviously how we can help get awareness out there for the need for funds, essentially. And I know we can't fundraise here, it's not what we can do. But how important is things like having the chair to allow you to have the space here? If there's companies that we can put something together to send out to say, look, you can change lives here, potentially. Talk to me about like what that would genuinely mean to you or anyone else in the same situation, to have a space that they know they don't need the fuss, because naturally you see someone and human instinct is, oh, I'll help.
Yeah.
But like you just said, that's not what you want. You want to be able to come and do it yourself. So
yeah, I think it comes down to dignity. I think for me, I've lost all dignity. You know, in the hospital, more people saw me naked in the 6 months that I was there, or sorry, 4 months that I was there, then people had seen me naked my whole life up to that point. You know, I have no dignity. I've shat on myself and lay in it for an hour, you know, constantly wetting yourself, asking your girlfriend to help you pull your pants up. Like, I have no dignity left. And to lose more dignity every time I come here to be carried up the stairs, I know that they don't mind doing it, but for me, it's the only thing I have left is to be independent. The only thing I have. So getting that chairlift for me is like, it's the saving grace. It's the last piece of dependency and independence that I have, or dignity, sorry, and independence that I have. It means everything.
And you talk about obviously wanting to open this space up to other people.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you go into the bigger picture, it opens up everyone. But okay, let's be honest. How many young professional people do you see in Dubai in wheelchairs? Zero.
Why?
I think it is because when accidents like mine happen to people here in Dubai, the easy option is for them to go home. They get, like, people from the UK will get funded by or they get the NHS or whatever. Being from South Africa, I don't get that. So there's no advantage of me going home and staying here. Even if there was, I'd stay here. Dubai is my home. My friends, that's my family there, you know. So that never even crossed my mind. I'm not going anywhere. And if I have to be the first person rolling around down Jumeirah Beach or in the sand, leopard crawling, I will be that first person. That's fine. I don't mind. But as a business sense, it opens us up, but I don't know how big the market is. On a purely emotional and physical level, for me, it will change my life. I get to hang out with my friends again, do the things I used to do.
The guys, obviously, you said you're part of the family.
Yeah.
Did you expect to have such an impact on them by not being here?
No, I didn't think that many people cared about me that much, to be honest.
Is that you being funny, or is that you genuinely didn't?
No, I know, I mean, we're all really tight, and we're all a band of brothers and sisters that joke and rip people. It is like having a big, I don't know what having a big family is like, because I'm an only child, basically. I've got half brothers and sisters, but I never lived with a big family. But I can imagine if I did live with a big family, it would be like hanging out with these fellas. So I knew we were all tight, I knew we were all close, but what surprised me was the level that people have gone to help me since this happened, and kind of how far out the ripples went. Like people that didn't even know me, that were friends with people that are friends with me, were putting their hands up and saying like, look, we'll help you with whatever, you know. And I had another emotional breakdown at the back end of that. So it's been amazing, and I appreciate and love them all. Yeah, I was going to crack a joke, but I probably shouldn't.
It's funny you say that because I was actually having my hair done about 3 or 4 weeks ago, my roots done.
Okay.
By my hairdresser at Locks by Lou, a girl called Chloe. And she was telling me about you.
Chloe Littlechild.
I don't actually know what her name is. She's been my hairdresser for 2 years. I
Oh.
don't know her last name. She's lovely. She's been here for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And she was just telling me about your story, and she was like, "We're all trying to think of ways that we can
Oh.
raise money."
Lovely.
And that's so fun that she was just telling me.
Yeah, that kind of stories happened more than once. When my mother actually flew back to SA, she was obviously on a flight full of South Africans. And the person she sat next to started telling her a story about a guy who was in a motorbike accident who's looking for help. And she was like, well, that's my son. So like, I can't believe how far it's gone and how willing people were to help an African who's broken his back.
It's true, correct me if I'm wrong, that you didn't have health insurance.
I didn't have health insurance.
Why was that? Like by accident it had lapsed, you just never thought about it, given you do all of these adrenaline things?
It's a shady story that I probably shouldn't talk about, so.
We'll take that out, we'll cut that out.
Okay, would you like me to answer the question anyway?
I'm asking because
Yeah.
one of our compadres is he was skateboarding and he went to Barcelona and we said to him, whatever you do, make sure you take, because he's a proper adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
He's Juan's counterpart, like you and Ross. This is Pipe's.
You're plus
Juan's.
one, Ross, my plus one.
And he went to Barcelona and he did some mad skateboarding trick.
The
And
last
we'll
day.
cut all of this out, but on the last day, on his birthday, and he fell and he's broken his tib, his fib, everything. And he called me and I said, you don't have health insurance. So he wrapped his foot up, got on a flight. He went from Barcelona, Madrid, Rome, Abu Dhabi.
Holy.
And he's come to the hospital, and he's come here to have his pins and everything put in his foot. And even then, it still cost. I mean, I paid the bill, 56,000 dirhams.
It's a lot, yeah. You can tell me about medical bills, I know all about it.
Whilst we'll cut all the insurance part out, what my point was, because Ross had said, look, it's all really about finance.
Yeah.
Right now, the issue is finance. Can we reference do you have any idea of what it's cost to today?
We're looking at like 750,000 dirhams, like as it stands now. But the challenge is going forward. I need a new car. I need to convert the car.
Can we put this in?
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah.
talk to me about the new life that you have, whether this is going to be short term, medium term, or long term. What are your challenges that you face right now?
Aside from the obvious of miraculously walking again, the biggest challenge is, sorry, that's just a bit of a spasm.
No, go for it.
It'll kill. Is obviously financially. My ability to work is not reduced. Well, it's like, let's say cut in half. Okay, so financially, I'm going to need a car. I didn't have a car before, so I'm going to need a car. I'm going to need to convert the car. At some point, when I get a house, I need to convert and make sure that the house is livable. You know, so we're looking at, unless we're lucky enough to find a place that's all one level. You know, chair lifts and converting showers and doing a bunch of stuff like that. Living expenses, medication, medical supplies, because I need help, obviously, to urinate.
Yeah.
I need help to defecate. And all of those things come with a cost, a price tag. And I'm burning through money at an alarmingly ludicrous rate. So financially now, aside from my immediate problem, financially is the biggest challenge that Lydia and I, that we face at the moment. She's fully funding me at the moment. Like,
What does Lydia do, if you don't mind me asking?
Lydia works for Emirates. She's a manager in the head office. So yeah.
Can I ask you a question that might be too personal? You
Sure.
absolutely don't have to answer it. I'm guessing that as a couple, you had a plan to be a family at some point?
Yeah, Liz is desperate for a child. We don't know where that puts us just yet because we haven't tried anything just yet. It's not impossible for it to work. I know plenty wheelchair-bound people. I don't know them personally, but I've heard stories that they started a family in this situation. But it's another like what-if scenario. You know, what if we can't do it? What's all of that stuff?
And you talk about that.
We've spoken about it. I don't think we've spoken about it to the depths that we actually need to speak about it. But we both know the implications of this.
I mean, by the sounds of this woman, you need to get a ring on it and fast.
Yeah.
Even if it's a Haribo one at this point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that comes with other issues because people will just say, oh, well, he's done it now because he's been in the accident. So I was going to do it anyway this year at some point. But now, because of the accident, I don't want to belittle the event from her side because of what other people will think if I do it now.
It's so funny that when we talk to you, you stop to think of how everyone else is feeling. And when we talk to everyone else, they stop to think about how you're feeling.
Of course.
It's honestly, I don't know about you, but it's so amazing to like talk to so many of you. I've never met a group of people that are so selfless.
No, we love each other.
Yeah.
We've got a hard way to show it, but we do love each other. Maybe not Jim Jenks, but everyone else.
And it's so obvious, like you can feel it when you talk to you all. What's in closing? What do you want people to learn from you?
I think I want people to not play it safe in life. I don't mean end up in my situation. That's not what I'm saying. People ask me, do I regret buying my bike? Do I regret doing the things I do? 100% I do not. I do not regret buying my bike. It was the best part of my day every day, riding that bike, aside from going home to Lydia, obviously. I do not regret spending the time I did with my friends, wake surfing, skydiving, riding desert bikes, drinking copious amounts of alcohol and gymming as hard as I can. I regret none of that. Even when I die, whenever that will be, I will still have so many memories from before that my life will, as I explained earlier, will still be a long-lived life. And I'm glad that I didn't just sit behind a desk for 65 years, played it safe, and died thinking, oh man, I wish I had continued skateboarding after school. So my message to everyone is like, don't end up like me, but don't play it safe. Make a life that's worth remembering. Otherwise, what's the point? If you don't remember it, it didn't happen. Name one thing that you've done that you don't remember. It's impossible. So live a life that's worth remembering. Don't play it safe. Be cool.
I can't even follow that with another question because it's just such a perfect ending. And I know that you don't know us from Adam, but in your dark days, I really hope like the effect that you will have on us and everybody that watches this video will be.
I hope that I can, and I hope that other people that are maybe sat at home in wheelchairs here that don't go out, you know, I know how hard it is to get up and get out, but I also know what it does for my mental state to be up and out and doing stuff.
Do you think that there's a point that you will be able to have conversations with like change makers, like government and people like that, just to say like, I am in this situation, I'm living it, and I can tell you that you have all these grand plans as a country, but what about people in a wheelchair? Like my parents have just moved here, they're 75, and they keep saying nobody's thought about people that retire here. Like a funny thing, my mom says, I'm 75, I can't eat meals that are this big. In England, we have OAP meals, which is like a kid's meal.
Okay.
And it's like half the price, it's the price of a kid's meal. You get your bus pass free after being 65.
Yeah.
But she said like here, there's absolutely nothing
But
for anybody.
how many, so like if you look at the population, everyone's so young, it's not at the top of everybody's mind, you know?
But as younger people move here, people's families will
Yeah, I think in the longer state there will be a need for it.
Like, I wonder if they'll ever sit with people, and you know, like, because they sit together obviously, but they don't talk to everyone else. And I wonder if they're having those conversations. Do they have anybody in wheelchairs, whether that's from Down syndrome, an accident, whatever, and saying, what's it like to live here in a wheelchair? Would you be willing to be that person?
I would be willing to do anything that will help other people's lives that are in my situation. or similar situation. Do I know enough yet about my life to have that discussion? No. I think I've got to struggle a lot more before I can be qualified to have that discussion. But yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't, like, for me, that's a bit of a no-brainer. Somebody who's living it, and the fact that you're so young and you've got this wild past, and you know what I mean? It's my goal for DMC, for Dead Man's Clique now, I want to try and incorporate the stuff we were doing before and open it up for people like me now. So I want to try and get like a desert buggy with hand control so people like me can drive it around in the desert. I want to try and get some kind of wake surfing contraption that you can sit on and be dragged behind a boat and be able, I know they exist, I know they're around, but they're not here. What's the things that you miss? Is there anything?
Showering, hugging my girlfriend, being able to stand up close to a counter and make a sandwich. That's what I miss.
Simple things, right?
Yeah. Getting out of bed in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom, coming back, going back to sleep. Like the big stuff, the grand stuff, I'll find a way to do that stuff. I miss coming home, hugging my girlfriend and going for a shower. A nice shower that I can stand up and enjoy myself. That's what I miss.
You're an absolute hero. I know you don't feel it, but
yeah.
like literally, I want to go home and like change my whole life.
Yeah, go shower. No.
I'm just going to grab Ross because I just want to talk to you really quickly. If
Sure.
You
Yeah.
a minute for just read. Sorry,
Just want to lean forward quick.
Yeah, go for it. Do we have another mic?
No, we could hear with
Yeah, just a bit of that. I'm Harley. I love that man like that carries that little dog around.
You should see what he does with that dog when the doors are closed.
My husband's the same, ex-professional rugby, 6'8", and we have these dogs that are like this big, and he literally says, if the house burns down,
I'm going dogs first.
It's not you I'm saving. I'm like, great, okay, duly noted, but thank you.
Got to admire a man with jeans, socks, and sliders.
I told you, Crocs and socks are a vibe.
Vomit.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm normally a shorts guy.
I can't
What do we need?
I'm just going to pull a straw to the...
Pull a stool.
Pull a...
That's what I do every morning.
There you go.
Do you want me to orientate myself in such a way that
So that you're near it, we can see you like almost chatting to
his
each other.
breath stinks? Well, what do you want?
My G.
I see you brought your handicap as well.
Yeah, whatever.
Are
Just,
you here, Ross?
Yeah.
do I need a mic?
No, we can pick you both up.
Check 1 2 1 2.
It's a big day. We spoke about what it meant for you, Ross, to have Ty back in the building. What does it mean to have him here? He's here.
It's good, man. He's home. He's home. Look, I need to share my personality with someone, so it's good to have him here to just hoover up all the fun, you know.
To make you look good.
No, it's just good to have the boy back in town. You know, the original plan was for us both to be here all the time, and as it's transpired, well, it's not really worked out like that. And actually, this is only the second time that Ty's been up here, and it's going to be a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
It'll be a weekly occurrence minimum, and then we'll just start to build it in. But this was always meant to be for the both of us, so just having him here, it's good. It's good. What's up? Yeah.
When we walked in, you obviously had all your team sat around there. You can't get emotional again because you'll set me off.
I'm not. I've just got something in my eye.
Look at him crying, and it's the same face.
It's exactly how it's supposed to be. I've held myself together really well, trust me.
I've genuinely just got something in my eye.
When we came, you were all sat around the table,
Yeah.
and I ran Juan and I was like, you have to get here, like hurry up. And he was like, I'm driving, stop
I
calling
was
me.
surprised.
But I said like there was such a family feel. How'd that feel for you to be walking? Was everybody here waiting for you? Did you want to come in a bit stealth and then see everybody?
No, so most of those guys came around multiple times in the hospital when we were there. Like, we've had these discussions and that. A lot of them have seen me in the chair before this when we've gone for a couple beers. But to have everybody at that, like that size and up here was a little bit more of home than I've been used to recently. With a lot of people to make jokes about, so it's great. I'm normally only used to making fun of him and one other. So.
If Ty's got people to take the piss out of, then Ty's in his element, so he was just there just firing.
I'm the sniper.
Right, you're getting it, you're getting it.
And nobody can say anything bad about me at the moment, so it is great.
How much are you playing on the sympathy card?
Loads. Loads.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the importance of DMC and it continuing. Obviously, Ty on his journey and you still having this really strong, like you've got a very clear vision of what DMC is going to be. How much of this has changed that, and how much of this is only going to amplify this idea of people coming together and this message that you give that is, we've literally just got to live?
Live it. Do you mind me starting?
Take it away.
I don't think...
I've been answering questions for 4 months, bro. You go, let's have it. I want to hear it.
The idea hasn't changed at all, I don't think, and our approach hasn't changed at all. Does it make it, from an execution point of view, it'll make it a little bit harder. But the idea, the grand goal, the outcomes are all exactly the same, if not slightly bigger, actually, because now we're including my dream or my goal of being able to do it myself now. Like, I'm not going to say live the life and not do it. So the goal, the challenges are a little bit larger, but the goal and the outcome is exactly the same. It won't change. It'll never change.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. DMC as a concept will not change. Just because he's got his wheels doesn't mean that like anything changes between us and what we're trying to do with DMC. And like you said, I think it just broadens the horizons a little bit. It makes it a little bit more inclusive, right? Because we're now going to showcase a lifestyle that we were living, but now an adapted version of that as well as what we were doing before.
Yeah.
So let's go.
At the risk of tearing myself apart asking this question, I'll try and hold it together. There is obviously a phenomenal friendship, like between the two of you, having met so young, and you're what, 30 years later, 28, 25 years later, you're still...
He's just trying to be me, like, the whole time.
Yeah.
How important, I'm going to ask you first if I can, Ty, how important has Ross's friendship been to you in this particular journey and getting you to obviously have a better mindset? Like you said today, you're having a great day. How much of having Ross in your life as essentially your best friend has played a role in this being easier than it could have been?
Firstly, Ross was a huge part of the immediate things that were going when the accident happened. Like, he dropped everything, he came down, he was straight to work with trying to help sort out my life at that point. So initially he was one of two. He was 50% of my, let's call it, trauma team, and completely indispensable. After that, he has been, obviously he's been an emotional crutch for me to lean on when I have shit days, but he's also been a huge motivational factor, because I keep saying to myself, if Ross was in my situation, he wouldn't be a bitch. He would get up, he would go do his shit, as if, it would be hard, but he'd still do it. And if fucking Ross can do it, then I can do it, you know what I mean? So I use him as my yardstick every day. I say, like, if he can do it, or if he was in my position, he would do it, I goddamn better get up and do it. So he's vital for me, he's indispensable.
Cheers, dude. And I use him as my inspiration as well, right? So when I'm having shit days, I'm like, fuck that. Like, this day isn't bad. Like, he's having a worse day, so get up, get on with your shit, make it happen. You got stuff to do, work, get it done, you know?
The power of friendship in this story is just like absolutely...
It's more than friendship, it's gone long way past friendship.
It's my bro.
When you met, when you were rowing at 8 and we haven't decided who spat on who first, Did you think that you'd be, I don't mean in this particular situation, but just here in Dubai, literally living the dream together? Or did you think that if you look back, did you think that would be the case?
Man, we were like 12 and 13 years old. I didn't know if I was going fucking left or right.
We didn't know if Ross was gay or not yet.
Yeah, as it turns out, I'm super gay. Ask my girlfriend.
He says he's holding a
They don't.
tiny
Yeah. Shit. Right, you've just incriminated me there. Yeah, no, look, you know, when you're young, you don't have a clue what's going on. If you said, did we think we would be here, when did you come to Dubai? 2016, 14?
17.
When we had the holiday here?
Oh no, 2014. That was the holiday that
2014.
started it all.
Yeah, if you asked us that question in 2014, do you think that in 9-10 years time you'd be sitting here, you know, owners of a gym, owners of a brand, doing our fucking own thing? Then, you know, probably not. We didn't know. I was still fully immersed in the military at the time, and Ty was busy doing his thing. And you can't say that we ever would have imagined where we are now.
No.
You know,
But if you had asked us, would we have been deep friends, like the best of mates? 100% we would have been, even though that we were, you know, we had never lived in the same country except for those 2 years when we were in SA and friends. We had never lived in the same country once up until 2020 when Ross moved here, and we were still undeniably like best mates. We called it best international mates because, you know.
But it was like, you know, as soon as I rolled in, he had already established the beachhead, and we were just ready to go to war with the whole of Dubai. Like, they were just getting it. So yeah, we just rolled. The first day I got here, it was Ty's girlfriend's 40th birthday, and we went on a yacht.
And we tore it.
Ty's girlfriend was like, "Oh no, who's this
you were the
guy?"
friend who definitely never wanted to move here. You were that guy.
Yeah, Liz, we love you. I'm so sorry. But yeah, like that was it. You know, we just we rolled straight back in, and like it was. We've always had a friendship where it's been like whenever we're apart and we see each other again, it's like not a day has gone past. You know?
Still
away.
spitting on each other.
Weird. To close it out, what's the DMC message from the two of you guys as founders? What's the DMC message that you just want to leave people with? If they're thinking about it, what is it?
Do you want to go?
Have you got something on the tip of your tongue?
Well, I was just like, I mean, I've said it before, but I'll say, do something that scares you every day. Live a life worth remembering. Be surrounded by people that you actually care about, not that, you know, you think you need. Yeah.
This is great. That's why it's good to have him here, right? Because I don't need to think when he's here. He does all the thinking. I just look pretty. Hey, no, but like, yeah, just to back that up, like, push it, man. We said we've got a phrase. One of many phrases that we use is take yourself into deep waters, and you know, take yourself to the edge of the envelope, red line, put yourself in deep waters all the time, whether that's in the gym or doing something that scares you, or immersing yourself in work to try and do the best that you can do in it. Like, put yourself in the deep waters, man. Don't be afraid of it. Like, that's how you're gonna learn how to swim. You know, throw yourself right in the deep end and then just fucking survive. You'll come through the back of it well, but you need to put yourself in there to know that you can get out the other side.
Guys, you're just honestly phenomenal, the two of you. I said it to Ross, and I think we finished, but I said it to Ross. I don't think that you've even realised what DMC has the capability to do collectively. I just don't think you've even.
I don't think we have either just yet, but.
I just don't think it as a brand. I just was saying.